What's up, YouTube? This is Bodo Fraggins here, and it has been 9.5 long years since we last spoke. Some of my old videos are very much out of date, and it's time to get back into the old YouTube game. So, what we're going to do is we're going to revisit the Protecting Villagers video, and from there, hopefully, we'll release more content as time goes on. So, let's dive right in and get started on this tutorial. Okay, so starting out, it's the usual thing. Unfortunately, my old village didn't survive when Microsoft took over, so we lost it and had to start over again, but not a problem. So, starting off, you need to have at least 2 blocks high to make sure that villagers, such as this guy here, hello, they can't get out of the base that you're going to be building around the village. Now, the wall has to be 2 blocks high. You've got to remember, 2 blocks high everywhere. That one was 3, but as long as it's at least 2 blocks high, that is the important thing. And also that you put down any torches and things anywhere where there is dark spots, which at nighttime is going to be very obvious to you. Now you can see here that this block is 3, and what I'm going to do here is put that down so that you can see that you've got to have the 2 spaces either side. You need to check both sides to make sure that there is definitely 2 spaces. Once you place down your walls and your torches, it does allow you then to have to check it at night. So let's see how the base looks at nighttime. Once you have set up your walls and you've got your torches inside your village, you will see here that it's all lit up compared to outside when it's dark. A couple of lit up places there, but that's because of other light sources. But in general, you can see that you can pretty much safely run around this village during the night without any problems at all, aside from spiders. Now, if you want to hang out for a little bit longer, we're going to do a deep dive on some of the other areas of the build to make it a bit more secure. Here we go. Sploosh! If you're still with me at this point, then thank you very much, and we're going to look into a little bit more detail now about things like keeping the spiders out. So what I've got here is 3 different looking bases, but you've got to think of it as the other way around. So inside these cubes or squares are the outside part. So this is where the mobs can spawn, and outside is where they cannot. Okay, now our regular 2-sized wall, we're going to put a load of spiders in here, and this is to pretend that they are outside our base. And what can happen? As you can see, straight up, they go, unfortunately. So even though it's still useful to have as an initial part of your base, it does mean that spiders can get in. So what can we do to stop it? What we can do to stop it is we can put down slabs. So these slabs would be on the outside part of your wall. And we can chuck the spiders in here. And, oh, sorry. Ooh. What we can do here is you can see that they can't get out because they can't climb upside down. They can't climb up the slabs. So as long as the slabs are on the outside of the wall, then it means that it'll also be safe from spiders. If you don't have slabs or you can't afford slabs, then the other option to have is you can just use a dirt block. Now, dirt blocks, as I said, use the same thing. Same principle, they can't climb upside down. So instead of having to use slabs, you can just use dirt blocks like this, and as they fall in, they can't get out. So again, make sure the slabs, or the dirt blocks are on the outside part of the wall, and they can't get inside. What you do need to do though is put down some torches, just to be sure, because what you don't want to have is mobs then spawning in the dark patches on the top of the wall. I hope this is useful as well, and now we're going to be moving over and having a look at slabs in the base. So let's have a look. Here we have the slabs, so we can see that we put them down here. Unfortunately, a couple of columns have got out. Not a problem though, we don't mind that at all. But the slabs, as you can see, are on the outside part, like that, and what that's allowing for... Oops. Let's try that again. First time. And what that allows for is for us to be able to keep the village safe from spiders as well. So it's a double whammy in that respect, but it does get a bit expensive in relation to slabs, so you may want to swap it and just use dirt blocks and it'll get the same idea. But there's a couple of dark patches here, and as long as you've got enough spare torches, it's always worth putting down extra torches. So we're going to throw a couple of torches down here. And what this is going to do is we're going to just make sure that there's not going to be any more spawning at all on top of the wall, because it would kind of defeat the point altogether. Moving over now into light sources. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to be honest, this isn't exactly very exciting, but it's kind of useful from a light point of view for torches. So torches have a light of 14, and what it means is that any torches that are placed on a block, that block gives a light of 14, and the next one's over is 13, so you lose one light for every block away from the torch that it is. And you can see here I've put down some red and whites to give you an idea on what it covers. So all the way up to here, and this guy represents where a mob could spawn because the light level is 0. Mobs spawn in light level 0 now instead of what it used to be where they could spawn in lower levels of light, and now it's 0. It's different in relation to the diagonals though, because each diagonal counts as 2 blocks. So as you can see from the top here, it looks a little bit like a snowflake, which is ironic because it is snowing, but it gives you an idea on what one torch will cover from a light point of view. So to move things on a little bit here, I put another torch in this area, and what we did then is I can show you that this one torch all the way over there, so from this point all the way down 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We can wipe that out, because now the torch that's behind me there has enough light to give that one block a light level of 1, so therefore it will not spawn anymore. Hopefully this will give you an idea on how the lighting works. I would say about 7 by 7 if you weren't sure about placements, but otherwise just look for the low light and then place torches, and let's move on. Now this last part is just trying to show you about trying to find a village, because sometimes you can spawn somewhere and you won't have a clue where to go. I have sped it up, so we'll have a little talk as we go through it. Now this is just a random spawn, random seed, and the idea is to try and find yourself ideally a coastline, because it often is the case that villagers seem to spawn on coastlines as a general rule. It also gives you good visibility, so you can see off into the distance instead of only seeing, say, 3 or 4 trees in front of you. You've got a good draw distance to be able to see anything that's far away that resembles a village, and to make life a little bit easier for you. I would never recommend that you do this on day 1, because well, you'll see that it does get a little bit spicy as we're going through it. But best thing to do really is get yourself set up in a basic way before you head out. Make sure you've got enough stuff to keep yourself alive, food, a little bit of tools and things like that in case you catch stuff on the way that's of use. But predominantly, as long as you can then pick up that stuff and take it with you, then you should be set for looking around with relative ease for a village. So this open space here, it doesn't actually count as a coastline. I think it actually counts as a river. But as we get over here, we're getting a little bit closer to what we're looking for. So it's a nice big open space like this. There's not too much else to say about this particular area, so I'll just explain a little bit about me being back and what we're going to be planning to do. So we're going to aim to put out some simple tutorials, very basic ways in which you can get stuff in your survival or hardcore mode in Minecraft. We are trying as best as we can. We're going to avoid using anything that's too expensive, anything that you don't really have early on. We might have to use a bucket or things like that, so a few iron might be needed for some of the tutorials going forwards, but as a general rule I want to make it so that it's not overly complex. It's quite straightforward for people to follow, and it will allow you to make the most out of your Minecraft experience, and that's the plan for the channel for the moment, and potentially expand later on over time. Hopefully you guys enjoy this tutorial. and gives you a bit of insight into how it works in relation to protecting villagers, and obviously the deep dive as well give you a little bit of extra knowledge in relation to how the light works, how to stop spiders, and also trying to find villagers. Now, this is the point here where I believe we saw the village, and I did try to go straight across the river, but then I realized I'm too slow because I've run out of food. So we're going to take the long way around, and we do eventually get to a village. I think in real time it takes about, I think it took about 11 minutes. And in the Minecraft world, we managed to do it from, well, the starting point and just before the sun managed to come down. So it was a bit of a race against the clock at this point, but we made it. Spoiler alert, we made it. And you can see that the village is at the top of the hill here. But it just does go to show that realistically, you're never that far from a village. So, you know, why don't you set up your base within theirs? Then you can do all your trading. If you could do me a very big favor and hit the like and subscribe button, it would help me an awful lot and it won't cost you a penny. So until next time, thank you.